asked you guys what you wanted me to do next, and you guys picked ranking the Pixar villains. So that's what we're going to do, because apparently ranking the Pixar movies wasn't enough. So I'm not going to waste any time. We're going to be tier ranking from S to D tier every Pixar villain that I consider a villain, or that some do consider a villain that I don't. There's going to be 5 different tiers for this, including S, elite, A, strong, B, decent, C, mid, and D, disgrace. They're pretty self-explanatory, but it's basically just like elite is the best of the best. This is just like one of the top villains they've ever made, or probably ever will make. Strong is just like, it's good, it's functional, it serves its purpose well. I would have liked a little bit more, but it's still really good. Decent is like, it serves its role, but that's pretty much all you can say about it. Mid is like, I could see why they felt like they needed to put this in there, but it doesn't really work that well. And then disgrace is just like, what even was this? You didn't even need to have this in there. It was just stupid. So, there's gonna be a wide variety and a wide range for these villains, because some are amazing and some are not. So let's go ahead and get started by ranking 26 villains. I'm going to be judging these on the criteria of like how entertaining they are, how well they serve their purpose as a villain in the plots. If it's a twist villain, like how predictable it is, that's going to factor into it a little bit. And if I just don't consider them a villain, I'm just going to put them in like mid or something, because like some of these I'm like, I don't see them as villains, but some people do, so I might as well talk about it. So let's go ahead and get right on in, starting with Audiio from WALL-E. I am very conflicted about the concept of Audiio from WALL-E, because on one hand, I don't want a villain that has no emotions or face or expressions or real underlying goals or motives. It's literally just following its programming. It's just like it's a cool concept, and it's a strong is a strong case of symbolism for how ignorant the humans that left the planet littered with a bunch of trash says. But he lacks personality, and he feels more like a programmed obstacle than anything else, more than a developed antagonist. And I don't think I could rank him any higher than C tier at mid, because he does serve his purpose well. It's just like I didn't get much out of it, so I don't really know where to put him, like if I was to put him any higher, because that just doesn't seem right compared to a lot of these other villains. And now we got a banger of one that I talked about. Did I just speak English? And now we've got a banger of a villain right here, and I talked about it in my Pixar video, and it's really unfortunate, but the voice delivery is basically what makes him so intimidating, as well as the character itself. Hopper from A Bug's Life. He's intimidating, strategic, and fully aware of the power dynamic that he's been exploiting. His control over the ants and the fear he instills in them makes him one of Pixar's most commanding villains. And it also is a really cool representation of like the top 1% trying to keep the other 99% scared so they can stay on top of the dog pile, so to speak. So for that, I'm going to say, despite Bug's Life being a very whatever movie, the villain is not a whatever villain. The villain, I would argue, is elite. I'm going to put that at S tier, because Hopper, I hate to give a Kevin Spacey role anything high on a ranking, but then again, he wasn't Baby Driver, so hate the artist, not the art. Now this one, I hate the artist and the art, because next we're talking about Jackson Storm from Cars 3. Hey, you remember everything that made Chick Hicks a likable antagonist who was funny and witty and actually seemed to pose as an entertaining foil to Lightning McQueen and the King? Well, hey, they forgot how to do that with this guy. Yeah, what's his name? Armie Hammer. Yeah, he's got a little bit of a controversy tied to him with, allegedly with, DMs sent by the actor to several women's DMs that are very sexual, and he's denied it and called it bizarre and hilarious. Just like Kevin Spacey, Armie Hammer is a absolute dickwad. But what did I just say? Hate the artist, not the art. So let's go ahead and judge him based on Jackson Storm. He still sucks. He's not like a villainous character. Like, I mean, he's cocky. He's like a generic douchebag, but like, he's, his whole thing is he's just faster and part of the new generation of race cars. No real malice or depth behind it, and he doesn't really make an impact or anything. And I don't know, I get that they had to have a douchebag rival character for McQueen and Cruz to go up against, but I don't know, man. He just had no personality. I got nothing out of him at all. Like, absolutely nothing. There was no entertainment value. So for that, I'm going to go ahead and put him in D tier at disgrace. Oh, nope, not C tier. D tier at disgrace, because yeah, he's if I were to rewatch Cars 3, I would probably forget he was in this halfway through, and then I'd be like, oh yeah, okay, he's in it whenever the final race came along. And we're just going back and forth between great villains and bad villains, because right after Jackson Storm, we've got Ernesto De La Cruz. We've got the villain from Coco, the twist villain actually, and we'll go ahead and start with that. His twist villain, like his reveal as a twist villain, is actually really well done. It's very expertly crafted. I do kind of think that there were a couple things he did that were kind of questionable, like why would he just loudly announce, even if he didn't know the mics and cameras were on, why would he loudly announce backstage that he's ready to kill a kid to keep his legacy alive even though he's dead? And also, why didn't he just tear up the shred, like, or the what is it, the photo of Hector? Why didn't he just tear that up? Why did he put it in his pocket? It seems like you're causing your own problems here, buddy. But yeah, Ernesto De La Cruz is amazing. He's charismatic, he's manipulative, and he's willing to commit murder on a child to protect his legacy. How fun. He has this like charm to his voice and this warmth. You could definitely tell he's inspired a little bit by Elvis, but I think he's really inspired by Vicente Fernandez. That's who I think they're using as like, I could be wrong, but I definitely see a lot of, I think that like the Spanish part is the Vicente Fernandez, and then the stealing and plagiarizing and being a complete piece of garbage is the Elvis thing. Us white people suck. But I'll tell you what doesn't suck. Ernesto De La Cruz. I am putting him at S tier. He serves a very good purpose in the story. It's perfectly integrated into it. He steals Hector's songs after he poisons his drink and kills him, causing his family to hate him. And it's not like he gives a shit either. He's just like, oh, whatever. I have my songs. I will go out and perform. And he got away with it too for a long time. And then the afterlife. Wait, hang on. How did Miguel just like tell people what happened between him and Hector in the overworld, and people assumed it was true? Regardless, it doesn't matter. Little nitpicks like that don't matter when you're as great as Ernesto De La Cruz. Now, the weakest part of Ratatouille, in my factual opinion, no, in my opinion, the weakest part of Ratatouille, Chef Skinner. Look, I really like him at the beginning when he's like treating Linguini like a trash boy, really, and he's like all skeptical about the rat and stuff. But the rat, he stole my documents. He's really good up until that point. Then he just kind of sticks around. Oh, I didn't put Ego on here. I just realized that. Okay, Ego would be in he would be an A tier because he serves his role well, but he's not in it very much, so that's where I would put Ego. So don't say I missed him. Chef Skinner, though, I don't know. Despite him being in the movie more than Ego, I still think Ego was a very well-developed antagonist that definitely gave a lot more to the story than Chef Skinner. He's great for the first half of the movie, and then the rest of it, like whenever, like that chase scene with him and Remy, I don't know if it needed that scene, and I didn't mind when he came back and he got tied up next to the health inspector, but like, I don't even think they needed that, really, because at that point, we're like, we don't care about Skinner. His story is basically over. We care about Remy, Linguini, and Colette, and the whole story with Anton Ego. So for that, I like him. He does a good job, but he overstays his welcome a little bit. So we are going to go ahead and put him in B tier at decent. I feel like that's a good spot for Chef Skinner. Who doesn't love the Prospector from Toy Story 2? Who doesn't love Toy Story 2? The Prospector is calm, and he has got this warm southern feeling to him, but he's also very calculated and emotionally manipulative. He tries to convince Woody that, like, hey, how long is it gonna last with Andy? How long are you guys gonna be pals? How long is that playtime gonna last before he grows up and gets rid of you? And he's got a little bit of a point. And he gets Woody to gently come over to his side where he's like, I want to go to Japan and be with the anime girls. Didn't I make that joke last time? I feel like I did. You should come with us to Japan, where we
giant monsters.
Where I want to go and be in this museum on display forever in Japan. And when it doesn't work, he forces Woody to do it because he's like, I tried it this way, I tried it the nice way, now we're going to go the Prospector way. You're going to anime land and you're going to like it. And I stole that joke from Shea Frillis, credit to him. He betrays trust without theatrics and believes he's justified because he's never been played with. He never felt the love of another child's playtime. That sounded really weird. But he's definitely a very grounded and unsettling villain. And I would have loved to see what happened to him after he got put in that backpack next to that Barbie. I would have loved to see that adventure as like a little short or something just on top of it. But, they're not one to add on to the villain's story after the villain's been defeated. So, But the Prospector, his manipulation tactics alone, it's just perfect. I'm putting him in S tier, dude. S tier villain from an S tier film. Okay, when I was researching Pixar villains, a lot, and I mean a lot of lists listed Darla from Finding Nemo as a villain. No, she's a kid who shakes a bag with a fish in it, not knowing any better. How is she any more relevant or important than Bruce when he got that bloodlust, or that anglerfish that almost ate Marlin and Dory? It's like she's just another obstacle. That's like saying the dentist is the villain. He just wanted fish. It's not like he had any malicious intent. It's not like him or Darla had any motives to harm the fish. That's not, and even if that was, that's Darla. Like, Darla was the one who hurt the fish. She didn't know, though. She didn't mean it. She's just a little kid. So I don't think she's a villain. I don't consider her a villain as much as just an antagonistic obstacle that Nemo primarily and then Marlin and Dory have to work around. And the Tank Gang, too. But dude, how am I going to put Darla any higher than C tier at mid? Because that's, let's be real here, man, that's exactly where she should be. Because like she's not even really a villain, but she's not disgraceful. She's still fun to have in the movie, but still, I don't consider her a villain as much as other people do. You might remember from my Pixar ranking video that I said Monsters Inc. is one of my all-time favorite movies, and that is compliments to many things about the film. The protagonist, especially Boo, she is so cute. The storyline in general, the door scene, but primarily the villains. And I say villains with an S because there's two that we're going to talk about, because I had to put both of them in there. In this one, we're talking about Randall. Randall is driven, competitive, and all in all just threatening. His rivalry with Sully makes it personal between the two of them. He almost kills him at one point. But I guess he does lack the broader ideological weight of S-tier villains, but I still find a lot of joy in him. He's slithery and slimy. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm keeping that part. Yeah, I was going to say slithery and slimy, but slither and slimy. Yeah, we're going to go with that. I also really like the scene where he turns invisible and like is like beating up Sully and Mike doesn't know. That's such a funny misunderstanding. I'm going to go ahead and put Randall in A tier as its first occupant, because I wouldn't consider him at the top of the top, but I would definitely consider him close to the top. Man, I really thought that video where I ranked the Pixar films was going to be the last time I had to talk about Cars 2. I was wrong. What wishful thinking that was, because now we got to talk about Miles Dipshit. Miles Axelrod, ladies and gentlemen, a dumb twist villain. He doesn't work in his story that well. His plan makes no sense. Like I said, he's already owned all of this oil. Then he makes an alternative fuel that people start to use, then figures out then he makes it untrustworthy by blowing cars up so they can go back to the oil that he was already getting money from. The twist where he's revealed to have been the one to set the bomb and he deactivates it, it's fine, I guess, but I mean, like, why would he go through all of this just to complete a task that's basically already done? He's weak, his twist is weak, his motivations lack any real impact, and he doesn't carry the presence expected from a central antagonist. Dude, Cars 2 sucks enough. Why should the villain not be at D tier? Give me one good reason why Miles should be in D tier, and I just realized D tier only consists of Cars so far. And here comes the second Monsters Inc. villain I'm talking about, Mr. Waternoose. One of my all-time favorite Pixar characters, really. I love Mr. Waternoose as a character just because of how real he feels, how realistic he is as a CEO, because as I stated in my last video about, or in my video about, I can't remember if it was the Pixar video, I think it was that one, or the DreamWorks video, I don't know. CEOs are most of the time, 99.9% of the time, evil as shit. They will do whatever it takes to keep this company from dying, like stealing children and kidnapping them, which is more prevalent now than ever. See, and the thing is, Mr. Waternoose doesn't feel like a twist villain that has no remorse for what he does. He feels sorry about what he does to Mike and Sully, casting them out. He like even yells at Randall about this. He's like, hey, I hated that I had to do that, and Sully is twice the scarier you're ever gonna be, and you need to accept that, because I just threw away my best scarer and Mike. He didn't really talk about Mike for some reason. I don't know why. He has a betrayal that's rooted in both power and fear of the company going under. His willingness to harm children just to preserve his company makes him one of Pixar's darkest antagonists, and it's just so realistic because, like I said, this is exactly the kind of thing that a real-life CEO would do. I'm going to go ahead and put Mr. Waternoose in S tier elite because he is one of the best of the best. Next up, we've got Lotso Huggin' Bear, and I got the bear as a kid, and he does smell like strawberries. It's true. It literally smelled like strawberries until I realized that I had sniffed him so much that his scent had worn off, and then he just kind of smelled like divorce. Lotso is a very, very good villain, and I mean, he's technically a twist villain. He acts all innocent and nice and warm and like this. He's got a very like Prospector vibe of like, you know, oh, he's this kind older man, you know, oh, bless your heart. Whenever they interrogate Buzz, he's like, no, this isn't how we do things here at Sunnyside. Take him out of those things. Yeah, he's acting all like mischievous and devious. Like he just finds joy in manipulating, and he's a manipulative leader who weaponizes his own trauma from what happened with from the trauma he got from Daisy. He just went in and just took over Sunnyside like it was nothing, and he's calculated, and his cruelty makes him psychologically compelling, and I don't know, he's just such a fun character. I definitely think that they went above and beyond with this guy, and it's gotten to the point where some people are comparing him to Hitler, which, yeah, if you make a character that you can like compare to Hitler, then that's probably a good villain. So for that reason, we are going to put Lotso Huggin' Bear in S tier. Okay, do I put this in C tier or D tier? I don't know. What the hell is his name? The stupid little professor car from Cars 2. I can't believe I'm looking this up right now. Let me just Cars 2 villain. Professor Zundapp. It's a weird name. I mean, I think he's German, so it kind of makes sense. I don't know what to say. I don't want to put him in D tier because, like, for one thing, that would only be Cars in D tier, and I feel like that's just going to be a bad look. But also, he's not as bad as Axel. He's not as bad as Jackson Storm. He's really just like the evil face, you know? He's not the one behind all of this. He's just like doing the evil bidding of Axel. So I don't know. I didn't feel myself to be compelled by him, but I like the fact that he's just a pure evil lemon car. And I don't know. I just think that he serves as well fine, but he's very forgettable. In fact, when I was creating this tier list, I forgot him and had to redo the entire thing so I could throw him in there. And I feel like that wasn't worth my time. But if I'm just being objective here, man, no, I'll put him in C tier. I'll put him in C tier. He's very mid, you know. That's being generous too. Anything Cars 2 related is not going to rank very high on any list unless it's the top 10 worst movies of all time or something like that. This one is really cool, actually. I really like the idea of Charles Muntz from Up. I mean, yeah, is it a bit unbelievable that he has this giant blimp where he has like tons and tons of dogs that he's bred and has like, he's trained to be like absolutely precision perfect and all that? It's like, I don't know, man. But then again, this is a story where a dude ties a bunch of balloons to his house and floats in the air. So, you know, I'm not saying I'm basing this off of how realistic it is. I'm just saying. Charles Muntz is an obsessive and dangerous character. He's got a strong thematic connection to the film's message, and he's effective, but he's a little underdeveloped, I think. I don't think we got that much backstory from him. Like, all we knew from the very beginning of the film was he was an explorer, and he brought something back, and they said it was fake, and he's like, all right, well, if you think that's fake, I'm going to go out and catch it and bring it back alive and prove all you idiots wrong. Also, at some point, he's got to realize those people that doubted him are probably dead by now. Who is he proving this to? The world probably doesn't care anymore, probably moved on. I don't know, he's a really good villain, though, but I don't see myself putting him alongside the Lotsos and the Ernesto De La Cruz. I feel like Charles Muntz deserves to be an A tier right next to Randall. I feel like that's a pretty good spot for him. The first ever Pixar villain from a feature-length animated film, or feature-length film, I guess, because technically all Pixar's films are animated. Sid Phillips, I found out he has a last name, Sid Phillips. So Sid from Toy Story. He's iconic, you know, he's a childhood menace, but his actions stem more from immaturity and honestly creativity than just calculated evil. He doesn't know the toys are alive. For all he knows, they're just regular toys, and he's just creating. He's using his imagination, and the toys just scarred him for life. I mean, I'm not saying that this kid doesn't look like he'd be causing trouble. I mean, there's theories that he ended up becoming the garbage man in Toy Story 3. That probably happened for a reason, but still, I don't know, man. I don't really know if I could really count him as a villain as much as an antagonist, an antagonistic force. A very big antagonistic force, for sure. That is very hard to say multiple times in a row. I don't know, man. I'm going to put him next to Chef Skinner and put him at B tier, because I definitely think decent is the best way to describe Sid Phillips. I can't believe he has a last name. Finally, we're putting something in D tier that is not Cars related. Evelyn Deavor from Incredibles 2. What did I say in my Pixar ranking video about her again? I could tell the villain was going to be... Let me just give you her name and see if you can spell it out, literally. Evelyn Deavor. What does that sound like? Evelyn Deavor. Perhaps Evil Endeavor? I might be stretching a little bit here, but that sounds like a villain. Yeah, that checks out. She is extremely stupid as a twist villain, dude. It makes no sense. Supers are illegal. And she makes a plan with her brother to make them legal again so she can make them look bad so that way they're turned illegal again? Extra untrustworthy? You're causing your own problems. It's very similar to Miles Axelrod. It's like, what are you doing? Why are you bothering with this extra task, going the extra mile for something that's already done? It doesn't make any sense. I can't stand this villain, and that's why I can't stand Incredibles 2, because it's just boring. It's average. It's not anything to write home about, especially after a 14-year wait, and the villain definitely doesn't do it any favors. So Evelyn's going in D tier. She's a disgrace. Ooh, okay, this one I have a bit of a different light on now. Al from Toy Story 2. So, I'm not saying Al was at all in the right in this movie. He was completely in the wrong for stealing Woody from a kid and his mom. As a collector, let me just say, I definitely understand a lot more of what he's saying now. It could just be because I'm an adult and I watched it as a kid and I rewatched it as an adult. But as a collector, I definitely understand a lot of things. He's like, in terms of like condition. And when I was a kid, I was watching, I was like, why is he spending all this time and money just to get Woody like fixed? Why does he care that much? And now that I'm a collector, I'm like, oh, you want that thing to be like, looks like it just came out of the box. So I get it for sure. But yeah, he's like a greedy, self-serving antagonist who represents exploitation in a pretty grounded way. He's memorable, he's effective. He's not very deep or complex, but I don't think he really needed to be. He works very well in his story, but again, he just doesn't seem like he's on the same level as the Prospector, who is I consider the main villain of this film. So as much as I love to put him up there with the top ones of the greats, I'm going to put him at A tier because he's a strong villain, but he's just nothing special. Okay, somebody should punch me in the face, because why did I pronounce his name Ercole? He is so unbelievably and ungodly funny. It's Ercole. It's Ercole. Silencio Bruno. It's Ercole. Salud. That's Spanish. Ercole from Luca. Ercole from Luca is such a fun character. He's basically Chick Hicks, but like for Luca. He is so fun and memorable and hateable. I really love it whenever he gets his friend to like slap his other friend, like, you know, you're being the stupido. Guido, slap him. Guido's from Cars. I don't know. I'm all over the place. It's just, he's just so funny. And the fact that he stopped in the middle of the race because of the sea monster, because of his bloodlust for him, and this shot where he's standing on the bike laughing maniacally and there's lightning behind him, is just, oh, it's so good. He's a believable small-scale tyrant where his arrogance and his need for control make him a strong antagonist within the story setting, and he perfectly fits the whole role that he's trying to fill. I feel like we should stop calling him Ercole and call him Signor Vespa. Excuse me, a Signor Vespa, how much did you pay for the Vespa and the pasta spaghetti? I'm going to put him in A tier as well. I love him. He's not a top tier essential villain, but he is. Jesus Christ. He's not a top tier essential villain, but he is very entertaining, and I think he works well within his story, and he does what he needs to do. So A tier is perfect for Ercole. Just can't say it, I guess. I don't know why. Okay, Brave has Mor'du as the main antagonist and villain, which it's more of a antagonistic force than anything, more of a symbolic force of nature than an actual character with depth or anything. But he works thematically, and I don't know, despite lacking the personality and depth, he definitely seems like a valid threat compared to some of these other villains. He definitely seems like he's actually out for blood, just in general. Nobody specific blood, just blood. And yeah, I think that they do a pretty good job of him, and I really like the lore that's behind him with the whole, like, he had 3 other brothers and he was the big dark one, and I don't know, I really like his whole backstory. So for that, I'm going to put him in B tier. I feel like that's a good spot for him. Okay, I got his name wrong in the Pixar video. It's not Johnny Wentworth III or something like that, or whatever his name is. The jock rival douchebag character. I don't care. It's Johnny Worthington III from Monsters University. The only thing I know about this guy is he was played by, I can't remember his name. This guy right here. This guy. He was on, I think it was, what was it? The Rookie, and he was on Modern Family. I know that. I think he was in Cars 3, actually. He was like he had a smaller role. I don't know. He's a douchebag rival character. I guess I could have considered the Dean Harscrabble, to be more of a villain than him. So I would probably put her one peg higher above Johnny, because he's just like a traditional functional rival character with minimal complexity, and he serves the plot but doesn't really leave a lasting impression. I don't remember a single thing this guy said besides oh yeah, it's whenever Mike was trying to get into Rural Mega Roar, and he's like, I think that you should go to a frat that's a little bit more your speed. And then he points at Uzma Kappa, and he goes, they look fun. Knock yourself out. It's just, that was kind of funny. But yeah, he's a very forgettable character. So I'm gonna put Johnny at C. So that means I guess I'd put Harscrabble at B, I guess, because she's fine and functional. But I don't know. But Johnny has Johnny has no guide. Johnny wants to hide. Tick, tick, boom. I gotta make a review of that movie. But anyway, Johnny Worthington III is in C tier because he is mid as hell. You know who isn't mid as hell, though? Chick Hicks, baby. Let's go. Michael Keaton absolutely slayed this role, and it's the best work he's ever done in his entire life. Spider-Man Homecoming? Get out of here. Any other movie with him in it? Get out of here. We got Chick Hicks. I'm putting Chick Hicks at A tier because he is a classic competitive villain who's just a douchebag rival character to Lightning, but instead of being bland and lame like Jackson Storm, he's entertaining. He's funny. He's got his insecurities, but he's willing to cheat to make him a strong sports antagonist, and he even messes up the king pretty bad. I don't know. He's just so entertaining. He's got such a loud personality. I love Chick Hicks, man. I've loved him since he came out, since I was a kid. But yeah, I love Chick Hicks. He is so fun. Okay, so I've seen a lot of Pixar villain rankings put Terry from Soul on there, and it's the same thing as Darla, but like a little bit different, I guess. but same vibes as Darla. It's like she doesn't have any like stakes in stopping Joe in 22. Like she's literally just doing her job. Like she doesn't have any skin in the game or anything. She's just doing her job, just counting numbers. So I don't really know what to expect out of this character besides just someone who does their job. I mean, don't get me wrong, her being like persistent and methodical is pretty cool. It's pretty fun to watch, but she's more of a bureaucratic obstacle than a true villain. You know, she's effective to the plot, but nothing menacing or even really memorable. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'll be nice and I'll put her in B tier at decent. Okay, a movie that I recently rewatched again, Turning Red. I am in love with this movie. I cannot explain why, but I love this movie. I could watch it over and over again. I don't know what it is, but I love it. I did not give it enough credit in my Pixar review. But also, one thing I didn't really mention that much in the Pixar ranking was, what's her name? Ming Lee. Yeah, the mom character, Ming Lee. She's the primary antagonist, but she doesn't have a goal of like hurting her daughter. She's doing it because she genuinely thinks this is what's good for her. So I don't know. I think she's a solid villain, but also she's a little bit less compelling. She's more of an emotional antagonist than a villain, and her conflict is rooted in fear and love instead of malice. So I'll put her in the mid tier because I don't really think she's that much of a villain as much as just a accidental antagonist. The best way I could put it. Oh my god, I completely forgot about this one. The Good Dinosaur. Thunderclap is his name. Did you know that? Do you recognize the name of Thunderclap, the most memorable villain in all of Pixar? Wow. I mean, do I even have to justify this placement at D? What did he even do? Audiio, the most recent Pixar movie before Hoppers. Lord Grigon. He's entertaining and expressive, but he's not very layered to rise beyond solid mid-tier status. So for me, I would put him in B tier because, I don't know, I feel like I was expecting more out of a big, scary character like him. But I do like the end where he gets out of his suit, disgracing his people, I believe, or whatever, and checks on his son. I think that's an amazing and very touching moment that I really appreciated. Oh my god, from one space dude to another, but this time it sucks. Zurg / old Buzz Lightyear. Again, what the hell was this? I talked about it in the Pixar video, so I'm just going to put him at D because if you can logically explain to me his plan and how it works, I might consider bumping him up to C tier. But until then, he is terrible and I hate him as a character. He makes no sense, and just like this movie, it's extremely mid. Although I probably would have put it above The Good Dinosaur, though, now I think about it. And now for the final one, and my opinion, the best of the best, Syndrome from The Incredibles. You guys know how much I love The Incredibles, and Syndrome is a massive part of why I love it so much. His goals are personal, but he's got this brilliant and intelligent brain that works against supers to where he literally kills them trying to get to Mr. Incredible. He's ideological, and his motivations stem from rejection and jealousy and envy, and he actively builds the threat himself, making him one of Pixar's most complete antagonists and one of in its best movie. I will not hear otherwise. I am putting Syndrome at the beginning of S tier because that is where he belongs. He is amazing, and I could go on and on about The Incredibles, but for the sake of time, I'll spare you that. So that's my list of that's my list of Pixar villains and them being ranked. I'll try to include the ones that I forgot to put in here, like Dean Hardscrabble and whoever the other one was. I don't remember. I don't really care. But yeah, I'd love to do more Pixar videos, man. I love talking about Pixar, especially because it's the only studio I've seen every single film. But yeah, I love Pixar films and just what they do. It's something I've had since I was a kid, and I've always loved the villains more than anything. I've connected with the villains more than the heroes every time. I mean, well, except for like Miles Axelrod and Evelyn Deavor and Johnny Worthington and Zurg, and, you know, maybe not every time, but dude, there is nothing better than the villain of a story, because the hero can get boring, the villain can do anything. Anyway, I hope you guys like this video. I just wanted to make a quick little video about, I talked about my top 10 DreamWorks villains, so I wanted to make a video on Pixar villains, but I wanted to wait till you guys picked it, and you did. by a lot. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully, new podcast coming soon when I am able to get a guest on. I'm this close to graduation, so almost there. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy, and Durat, he stole my documents. Jiglr.